Hello, everyone. My name's Erich Schlieper, and over here helping me out is Casey May. I'm here to talk about G Central, the Idea Exchange, and the LabVIEW Square Battle competition. I am the third of 4 Erichs that are presenting this conference. Exactly, right? When we had our convention, the Erich convention last year, we decided that's what we were going to do. So, when all of you get to your named conventions, you can decide if you're going to try and be the, the lion's share of the presenters next year. Okay, so.
Social norms unite.
That's right. And then the other thing I'm going to say is, you could have made it so that I talked less in this presentation, because you could have, all of you could have submitted to the square so that we would have had a lot of competition to show. But as it was, I think there was 7 people that submitted. And
there were 8, but 1 was disqualified.
Oh yeah, there was 8, but 1 was disqualified for an improper use of, or using more options than were available to them.
Creative engineering.
Yeah, creative engineering, that's exactly. If you don't tell an engineer they can't do it, or they'll be disqualified, it might not happen. Anyway, so I am a part of the GIE Exchange Committee, and the rest, so it's Casey and I are both on the committee, and then Q and Jesper, who's in Denmark, and he's going to GDevCon, the original, and so he'll be there if you want to catch him. And we're currently, if you're interested, you could become a member of the committee and help us out in the things that we do. So so the way this presentation is going to go, we're going to talk a little bit about the GIE Exchange Committee and just kind of what we're doing, our goals, objectives, and then we'll get into the battle in the last part and see what's going on. But our goals, right? The goals and vision are aligned with G Central, who we're a committee underneath, and those are to share ideas for toolkits and add-ons to LabVIEW. You can vote for your favorite ideas on the GIE N.A forum. We understand that if you wanted to work on or be a part of an open source project, but you might not want to manage that, right? So one of the things that we want to do is we want to be there to help you with that, or manage that for you, and you can contribute, right? So if you want to be a part of something, but you don't want to own it, like, come and talk to us, and we'd be happy to talk to you about that, right? And to build on that, right, is to share resources to help get tools that G programmers need to be successful. So if you've got an idea for a toolkit, or we want to help you with that so that we can make the environment tools better for everybody. And then for the companies, right, we want to help them maximize their return by using quality, community-built open source tools, right? Something that everybody can be a part of. So I alluded to it on the previous slide, but we now, you can't find it on the side navigation quite yet, but you can find the GIE Exchange forum, where you can submit ideas. You can go and kudo ideas to get, to help vote for them, so that we know, so that people can know, oh, there's a lot of excitement or a lot of interest in a particular idea. So Casey is over here making sure that these links and things are in the Discord under our presentation. So if you want to go and check those things out, feel free to do that. You can do it now while I'm talking, and then when we get to the video, you'll probably want to pay attention to that. So what are we looking for, right? We look for ideas posted to the forum. we're focusing on the G language enhancements and tools. One of the reasons that Erich helped us get the forum set up is as a place for, if you've ever gone on to the LabVIEW idea exchange and submitted an idea and it was rejected or something because it was, something that could be implemented that didn't have to be implemented by R&D. Now we've got a place that those can get moved so that people can still continue to see that and then maybe help to build those tools, right? And then everything that we want to be involved with, we want to be open source under a license that's approved by the Open Source Initiative, and then delivered in one of the standard ways, right? VIPM, NIPM, some installer, or a Git repository. We want to be as open and welcoming as possible. And part of the reason for another reason for going to the NI forum was to make the process a little more open, right? Because that was some feedback that we had gotten over the last year or two as we've been doing things, is that once someone submitted an idea, they felt like it was a very opaque process and didn't kind of know or understand. Now we've got a place that you can go and we can have discussions about those things in community, which will be good. So once an idea is submitted, what happens next, right? There'll be discussion of the idea via questions, people asking questions about like how something would be implemented, votes in the community. Then once we kind of reach that critical mass of there's enough people that seem to be interested, we want to get going. We'll help find developers who are willing to contribute to projects. So if you're a developer and you don't and you want to contribute to open source projects, but you don't have an idea that you're like, oh yeah, I got this idea that I want to go and contribute. Come to us. It's like, what things are people looking to do, and we'll help get you set up that way. And then all the normal things, right? Creating project repositories if it's new, marketing the idea on social media, recruiting testers, right? Because sometimes that's a thing that you need. You've got an idea and you've been working on a toolkit, but you don't have, you've had a tester of one, right? Where you're like, oh, I know all the ways that I should use this, and you don't have what a former colleague of mine called the 100 monkeys test, where you just got people banging on it, using it in ways that you didn't expect and you didn't know you had to protect against particular things. And then quality assurance, where we'll just help provide some VI analyzer tests and code reviews, that kind of thing, and then providing releases and those kinds of things. So, we want to help with all that we can. So how can you help? Everybody, feel free, submit an idea, right? If you've got an idea that you think might be interesting for more than just yourself, put it out there and we'll see what kind of excitement builds, and everybody should, if I had to say, everybody should be going and checking this out regularly, right? Just like the LabVIEW idea exchange to vote for ideas that you think would be useful, because I know that that's the way that a lot of things happen in the community. But as an individual, right, you can also become a contributing developer to an open source project. You can, one thing that I would actually encourage people to start to do, especially if you're in a bigger company, is go and start talking to your management about toolkits that you use or that you think might be useful to other people, and say, hey, can we set aside time to develop and contribute to open source projects that support the greater community, right? So wanting to be a better member, right? Because that can help both you as an individual, but also your company with some visibility, because you can start talking about in other places what open source initiatives you are contributing to. And then you can also, as an individual, come and join the committee, like I said before. And then if you are or know a decision maker at a company, talk to them. Try and get your company we'd love to have companies come in and say, hey, we've got some developers that, we'd love to have them contribute back to the community as a whole, as a company. And then also, sometimes, it would be helpful to have some things funded so that, they work, because it takes time and energy and money to manage open source projects. So contributing to getting your companies to contribute to G-Central financially would be helpful. That would help allow us to do that. So frequently asked questions, because I know you've all asked them all in your head. We just talked about ways that you can contribute, being a developer. If you are at that architect level, and you're like, I don't really want to develop a whole open source project, but you have those skills and you want to help set up projects for success in an architecture way, we'd love to have help. Like, yes, let's get the architecture set up. Let's kind of, define that, and then have developers go in and people who just want to develop and don't necessarily want to do the architecture piece. Let's use our architects and developers in appropriate ways, and then of course alpha, beta testers. Otherwise, are there any other questions? Because any question that anybody asks here will be a frequently asked question.
I want to sign up to help out. Wow, that was really loud. If I want to sign up to help out, do I just talk to you?
You can talk to me. You can talk to Q. You can talk to Casey. That would be a good way. I
can put our email addresses in the Discord.
Casey's going to put our email addresses in the Discord. So we will check those. Any other questions?
Can I hand you my open source project and let you maintain it?
Yes, we would be happy to do that, because I know that there are a number of open source projects that people maybe don't have time to continue to deal with, or was like, we want the community to have this and let's make updates, but yeah, you might not have the opportunity. We want to be able to help and support that.
Something that I would like to see at events like this is I would like to see us take an afternoon and do a ensemble programming session and pick some open source tool that needs a lot of help, and just have us sit there and go through as a group and fix some issues and do some work on it. I think that'd be a really cool thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's exactly the kind of stuff that we'd like to help. Provide manpower to help organize and make that happen.
Maybe we could even do some like online stuff where we just all sit in a Zoom room and do that or something. I don't know, but I like that idea.
Hey, Sam, related to that, how many people would be interested in doing that? Just like an afternoon, either the first conference or right
Yeah, so the question is, how many people would be interested in doing that at a conference here? Oh yeah, we've got quite a few people. I think maybe you're onto something.
I like it. It's the right group of people.
Maybe Thursday afternoon at GDevCon next year.
All day Friday.
All day Friday.
Hey, I'm around Friday morning. Anyone wants to sit over in my office in a conference room, we can go do that. I'm in.
Awesome. Great idea. These are the kind of ideas that we want to help and be a part of. Any other questions?
Does that work? Yeah, just kind of circling back 2 questions. It would be great to go to the website and then see like a list of, hey, these are open source G projects, like these ones you might be interested in, without kind of like the fundraising or anything, but just having a central place to look and be able to see what's out there and what's actively used or being worked on.
Yeah, and I think I can't speak super directly to that because that's up one level at G Central, but I know that that's part of G Central's whole goal is to make sure that we can to provide a place to search the different places, repos, areas that have and be able to show what the different open source or the different projects that are available, and then I agree that it would be nice to find out, well, which are the open source ones and which ones are looking for contributors and that kind of thing. So
the forums can help with that too, because
Yeah, so Casey's saying the forums, we could help with that too. So like, let's use that as a place to talk about these things and, get those ideas, and then we can start, coming up with lists, and maybe we've got a document that we keep there and keep updated that talks about that. So all good ideas that we'll get on our agenda for our next meeting. Any other questions?
I just want to throw out an idea. Eric and I were just talking. So we have the cocktail hour and dinner tonight, and then we have the space until like 10, but we don't have anything planned. So like last year we brought a band and that like chased people away, so we're not going to do that this year. But we could totally do that if there was a group of people who wanted to do something like that. So we could gather in the corner and go do that. I am volunteering to lead that, so if anybody wants to come join me.
All right, sounds good.
Come find me afterwards and we'll go do something.
Perfect. When you're in that post-dinner slump and letting things digest, sounds like a perfect time to code.
You and Casey need to put the list together
Of what's available so that you can work with him on, these are the projects we have to choose from. We should pick one.
Right. Well, I think some of the ideas that we've currently got were Sam's. So we can go from there. All right. Are there any other questions? Make sure I check what our time is looking like. Oh, yeah, we're good. So the real reason why we're here is the Summer of LabVIEW. So the Summer of LabVIEW, I know it was last year. So Derek Bomarito and Darren Nattinger, internal to NI, wanting to kind of have an opportunity for people to develop their skills in a way where they're applying LabVIEW, did what they called the Summer of LabVIEW. Well, we heard about it, and we kind of started to do it, and then we got in touch with Darren and Derek and decided to collaborate on a Square Battle. And so on the internet, the home of all things Summer of LabVIEW is summeroflavview.com. And then there's also a Discord server where you ask questions and see upcoming challenges so you can be a part of those. So the Square Battle, how many people are...
Could you go back for just a second?
The links are in the Discord.
Let's get to the Discord.
That's right, so get on the Discord and... Square Battle, how many people are familiar with Square Battle? Is it, okay, about half, a third?
What were the submissions?
Yeah, Casey wants to know where were the submissions. Actually, so Square Battle goes back a ways. It was started by Indigit. They wrote a version of Square Battle, and then last year Derek went in and made some updates that really make the developer experience for developing a Square much better. So if you had done it before and you're like, oh, that, you maybe had things, this year it was a lot easier that way.
I will say, since I did submit one, that you could get something up and running in like an hour or less. If you really wanted to be strategic about it, it took a lot longer, but just getting it running was pretty easy.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. So the main idea around Square Battle is it's a programming challenge that allows the users to program the logic or algorithm of a simple bot, right? So a square that works autonomously to win battles against other squares programmed by other developers. So it's very simple. You don't have to, because the whole game part is already programmed, all you have to focus on is what is my square doing and how am I going to run and take on other people. So it's super fun. So some of the goals that we set for the competition was to just generate excitement for learning and programming in LabVIEW, having fun interacting with other developers. So you can, there are ways to, inside the Square Battle, to program it up and then package it up and send it to your friend, and they can import it into their environment, and you can battle against each other, so you can, hone your algorithms. And then encouraging people just contribute to open source projects, and then also bring attention to the GID exchange. And Nancy was critical in helping us also get so that if you participated, you'll get a virtual badge and recertification points for participating. So not only, yes. So not only would you get, to have fun together or come to the conference here and get points for that, but you got an extra 10 for submitting a square. You didn't even have to win anything to get this recertification points. So
I have a question for the audience.
Casey's got, yeah.
So I have a question for you guys out there. How many of you were aware that you could submit a square for now? Okay. For those who were not, what would be a way that would have caught your interest to get this news, and so you would have known about that?
Yeah, you can say where you would have looked for those things. Obviously, you're not all connected to me because I was blasting it all over LinkedIn. Or you're not checking LinkedIn enough.
Aid, I think we as GDevCon N.A. could have done a better job probably promoting it than we did. So that might be more useful just for future stuff for us.
All right. I mean, it's going to be a spoiler, but I think not for this conference, but I think the plan is to run Square Battle again next year, so you've got a whole year to hone your strategy and really just figure ways to obliterate people. So how did we run this competition? We pitted squares against each other on 1v1 battles, where you got a point for the winner. A single free-for-all, because there was 7 submissions. We had a single battle where everybody was involved, and you got points for based on where you finished in that. And then ties were decided based on a best of 3 head-to-head matchup. All right, so let's get to why everybody's really excited to see this. And so I know that that we have Sam and Mike from Zaya Solutions that are here. Is there anybody else that submitted that's here? Okay. We've given them mics so that when their teams are up, they can give a little bit of commentary as well as, of what they were thinking and how it goes.
They don't know the results. Yeah.
And
Do you want to explain the rules? Like the
rules,
the squares. Yeah.
There will be some rules about just how the general
the
programming
game engine works.
Okay, so
It's sort of in the video.
I think so. If we as we watch the video, we can also explain a little bit how that happens, because I don't have the code up to kind of show like the things that are interesting.
Derek added. There's a slide that Derek added that explains the rules.
All right, so I'll hit go, and then we will. So Derek spent a lot of time. He ran all the battles, so we didn't know what was happening or what people were doing until the very end here. But
Yeah, those are the rules.
oh yeah, here we go. The logic that you can control, right? Squares can wait or move, attack, replicate, and then every round you get to do what you need. All right. Oh, we had. So this is what's happening, right? You start on 2 different places, and this is last year's winner and his submission this year. It's super fun to watch, especially sped up like this.
Where's the mic now?
Is that coming from? Okay, someone else is playing that. I'm like, we didn't put any music to this because we didn't. All right, I think this is the tornado attack where it's just kind of, circling and circling.
what's happening?
Okay, do you mind if I explain? So basically, each team starts with one square at a random position on a 150 by 150 board. And every square has a decision to make. It can wait, it can move one square in any direction, it can attack in any direction, or it can replicate. If you choose to replicate, it'll clone into a position near it, and both of those squares that appear can't move for 50 moves. And that's it. Those are the constraints. Huh? 50?
Okay.
It's 50 moves. So basically, each square can see immediately around its surroundings, like one square around it, but you don't have information about any part of the board where you don't have a presence. If you don't have a square, you don't know what's going on in that part of the board. Unless
you cheat.
Okay, there's nothing in the rules that says a dog can't play. Nothing in the rules said you couldn't use VI server. Anyway, there really should be one more team
I'll
up there.
give you a guess as to which team submitted a square that may or may not have violated the intentions. All right. Does that help explain what's going on? And then, so to win the battle, you either eliminate the other person, right, by making all their squares so you can attack another square.
So when you attack, you can choose which direction to attack. So the most obvious thing is, if you are a square, you see an enemy square near you, attack that square. And that square will probably attack you, mutual destruction, you both get destroyed. You could choose to dodge as well. And in that case, the enemy square would probably try to attack you, you would move, and both their squares would survive. So you can imagine there's a lot of different strategies there. If two squares ever move into the same space, then they annihilate each other as well.
So how do you choose who wins the attack?
So if they attack each other, both squares get destroyed.
Yeah, in that case, it's mutually assured destruction.
There's no like 50% of the time that your attack fails.
No, there's no statistics that would help inform that.
Essentially, all actions are executed simultaneously. So if two squares attack each other, they're both destroyed.
All right, any other questions? That would be?
How much is this sped up? Like how many moves per second?
I know the answer to that too. So what Derek did, he captured this and put this together. He did one round per frame. So that's why you'll see sometimes the time, it doesn't exactly go in real time, because depending on how complicated the board gets, it can take actually more time to execute a round. But yeah, it's one frame, it's one round per second, or per frame, sorry. And the match ends when one team is either destroyed or 10 real-time minutes have elapsed, and whoever has the most at that point would win.
And the initial rounds go faster because pretty much everybody is just spawning additional squares at the beginning. So it goes real fast because you might have 50. You're going to have 50 rounds where nothing's happening because all everybody did was make another square and then make another square. And so, yes, can stand. Sorry for making you run after it.
Can your own squares talk to each other?
Every square makes a decision.
So yes, if you program them that way, right? So just to make sure that I was up on this, and I didn't get it done in time to submit, but I used maps and sets to actually keep in my. There's actually two levels to this. There's a team class, and then there's a square class, and the team class can hold all that information, and so you can, if two squares even just move into the same square, they will collide, and then they're both destroyed. And so I used the maps and sets as a way to be like, I'm going to figure out how to not make any of my squares collide into any of my other squares. So you can make them talk however you want. And then, I also had some ideas for how you might, cheat with coworkers, when they submitted a square about using, named cues or things like that. But other people could then, potentially sniff those things out and whatever. But that would have been all kind of fun, right? Like what kind of espionage can you do on other squares? All right. Any other questions about? All right. We will keep this rolling. Yeah, so I think this is both of Sam's teams against each other, right? Revenge of the Nerds.
I guess maybe I should have stuck with the first one.
What is there a big difference in the two?
Yeah, there's a little bit of, it's slightly different at the end. So, yeah.
Wait, so is the idea there that the sequel is not as good as the original? Is that why that
Yes, exactly.
Nice.
Spacebar words.
All right. So this is
Actually, for the last one, if you wouldn't mind, I'm actually kind of curious. For somebody who hasn't tried to get in the headspace of different strategies of like, hey, what am I going to do for this and that and the other? Sam, having done both of the last one, I'd be curious to seed into our brains a little bit. Like, hey, I wanted one to be this kind of way, and I changed it up to do this kind of thing. That might help all of us in just who maybe have never done a square before.
I have to remember exactly what I did, but mine goes through this phase where it builds and then it moves and it builds and it moves. And the first one, it's like more of like the second one like pulses on and off. You'll see it. It moves and then stops and moves and stops. And the previous one just kind of it's not coordinated. Like each cell moves and then grows and then moves and grows. And the second one, they kind of do that together. I don't know.
so a little bit of coordination to.
Yeah. But apparently chaos rules because.
Yeah, that's what's really interesting when you watch these is that there's a lot of like the first one's like, a clear strategy. I'm going to start moving in a direction or, expanding. And then, there comes a point when all hell breaks loose and things start spinning around. And
Another interesting thing is that it's not determinate what's going to win. There's some randomness both in the team strategies and the positions that they start in. So if you put two teams against each other, they may not, the same team won't always win necessarily.
So that's
yeah, so Sam won that one again, right? So. Exactly. So these are two actually very interesting teams.
Yeah, so this is a more boring version of the teams that I was able to submit, the one that made it through on the blue. And you can see that mine is, I just kind of expand like steadily, like in a circle basically around where I start. And I try to add some intelligence to like swarm towards certain positions, but you can see there's clumping because Casey actually originally helped me put in like a pathfinding algorithm, but it just took way too long to run because there's 22,500 spaces on the board. And as you can see that there are thousands of active squares. So I implemented a really stupid pathfinding, not even pathfinding, basically move toward the direction of the square you eventually want to be and try to avoid obstacles that are immediately near you. Oh, we won. Cool.
And it was successful in this case.
Yeah. But that clumping's bad. It's not good.
Yeah, my strategy was much more random. It was like pick a random number, move that many squares, and then stop and replicate. And then the directions were kind of random too, so.
All right, so this is the blue is the Coliseum from last time that created the big, the big clump in the middle at the end. And then our the Hills Youth Rebirth, which was the he won last year, but it's looking pretty good for the Coliseum in this case. Oh, there we go. Levon won. That was a rematch of last year. All right, we got the tornado back. And the looks like a controlled until the point where all hell breaks loose and everybody starts running around. Very successful. That was Derek. So, I don't know
that's not good. Yeah. So like Casey said, there's sensitivity to initial conditions. You can see the team started pretty close together. I noticed when I was running that if my team had enough time to kind of expand happily, it was great and it would do awesome. But because it took a big chunk of my early stuff, it was not good for getting enough of the board.
Well, and you saw it looked like the Zerg swarm would have been destroyed if they had just kept moving instead of stopping to replicate some more. Liquid versus gas. And that's a reference to the expansion properties.
Talk trash.
That's
Yeah.
really scary. The green's so close. Okay.
Sam's far enough away that someone will be able to get in between you two if you guys start talking trash.
So there's medium. Oh, that's not good. See, he has a lot of board coverage. That's the other thing bad about our team is we're pretty slow to get good board coverage, and I think it is actually important to get good area control. Yeah, see, he has so many more regions that are just producing squares. So.
Yeah. Well, and he also generated twice as many squares as you, right? Because you can see in the generated.
And that's because if you expand to emptier space, it's riskier because you're not near your own team, but you have more space to expand and you can move fewer spaces to keep expanding, right? Because you can't expand if you don't move out.
Yeah, because it does get tricky expanding. If you're too close together, you get that clumping, and then you can't expand or you collide when you expand. Yeah, well, another.
You need some standings on the side here.
I know that would be. There's only so much time, and I just got this video at the end of the first at the end of Erich's presentation today. So up to the last minute working on these things because I think the submission deadline was only July 8th, and so yeah, the Zerg swarm in this case is just not swarming. Again, the winner was had twice as many generated. Oh yeah, the battle of the rapid expanders. You can talk into your microphone, Sam.
You're my boy, Blue.
I don't think it's going to work this time. Carving pass. So this is your Revenge of the Nerds 2. So this is the slightly different. Yeah, the tornado. Yeah, it looks like Sam turning it around. Well, that's I think when you stop for a while, if you're on a roll, if you had a way to figure out if you were on a roll destroying somebody else, that would be the way to and then change it to say, I'm not going to stop until I know that I've destroyed everybody.
Did anyone maintain statistics of the number of squares that filled in that team or anything
Who's the most suicidal?
No. So
during inside the program.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Did either of you
Oh, surprising. I did not think I was going to win that. Oh, but that was the inferior sequel, Revenge of the Nerds 2, so that makes sense.
All right. Oh, we got a Coliseum back. Let's see if we get to building the impenetrable Coliseum.
How many minutes are left on that video?
About 5.
Okay.
Yeah, about 7.
Okay, that's perfect, I guess.
Yeah, we'll finish just about on time.
I want to know if the superior team got to the better team that we tried to submit, Casey and I. If there's any videos of it for fun here, which again should not have been disqualified. Airbud rules.
Well, you'll have to take that up with Derek.
Oh, ouch.
Oh yeah, this Coliseum does some, like, once it kind of gets going and then it gets all crazy. Oh, we've got a question? You don't need to pause. All right, here's Revenge on the Nerds 2.
So I think I heard you say before that the game engine is like the teams operate synchronously. So there's like each quote clock cycle, or each game round, each team gets to perform a computation. So there's not like an advantage for writing more performant code, per se.
Correct.
Okay, but I heard Mike say that you wrote something that just took way too long to run.
Yeah, because there's a 10-minute time limit on the game. So even if, yeah, like you want to, and it's also boring to watch. Like if you have to sit there and wait for each round to be like a minute long, that's no fun.
I actually thought a strategy would be to like get to the point where you're winning and then just like delay for 5 minutes.
Yeah, Casey and I thought of that too.
Yeah, you're not the only one who thought that would be amazing. So this is what the standings are as of right now. We got a kind of some good clumping at the top there. So now this is going to be the 7-on-7 battle. Coming up here, and hopefully you'll be able to see it. When I saw the video, I was like, I was a little concerned.
You said the scoring for the 7-on-7?
Yeah, so the scoring. Yeah, so the 20-minute time limit, and then based on how many other teams you finished ahead of. So the last one standing will get 6 points. The first one eliminated will get 0 points. Hopefully you can see that because we got all these different colors.
I don't even know where I am. Am I the bottom left, the orange bottom left? I think so. Okay.
You are orange, yeah. So this is the Zerg Swarm. Let's see if I can get. That's the standings can change pretty quickly, but yeah. So now it's just everyone for themselves. And this was a bigger board. This was a 300 by 300 board to give people some space. But at this point, yeah, the Zerg Swarm is really. There's like almost 40,000 squares generated. All right, so here are the final scores. So you notice we've got a tie between Zaya and Levon, and so now we're going to go into the best of 3 head to head. And I think Zaya won the first match in the 1v1s, but we're going to get to.
All right, let's see how random conditions are. If we get a piece of us eaten out at the beginning, it's not going to be good.
Yeah. All right, there we go. Inadvertently hit pause.
You can right arrow. You can jump it. There we go.
Okay, tiebreaker time. Best of 3. What do you think? What do you think your odds are?
I have no idea. It depends on how random the starts are.
All right. Neck and neck. 50, 60 generated. We got the Death Star looking. We'll see if the Coliseum can generate their Coliseum, impenetrable. Both just about neck and neck for the generated squares.
Not for active though. That's not good.
What is active?
Yeah, I think active is like how many squares are active on the board and haven't died out.
So you want that to stay,
to
continue to go up. All right. Yeah, we got a true Death Star Coliseum. All right, round 2. So the Coliseum took the first one. Now it's see if the Zerg Swarm can come back.
I really want to see the other team that we submitted playing against some of these teams and see how it looks. Because I got to watch some fun. I have some videos of the other team playing against the opponents that we had available for testing before, but not the new ones, obviously. So I'm curious how they did.
What illegal thing did you do? Describe it.
It's not illegal again because there's nothing in the rules. Well, okay, so Casey helped out.
He's going to get his lawyer involved.
Casey helped out with this, and we were trying to think of different ways to kind of get around the game engine, right? And thought, okay, could we hack some of the queues somehow? But that wasn't so easy. We thought about what Sam was saying, where we just focus completely on exponential growth and hope that after a certain point we're ahead, and just basically put a wait in for 10 minutes just to ensure we win.
All right, now we're 1-1.
1 versus 1.
This is the tiebreaker.
What we eventually did was we used BI server to find the front panel of the game board and take a screenshot, and then from there you know the board size, and then you estimate. It wasn't perfect. Sometimes an attacker would go 2 squares away from an enemy and just stop, but it obviously helped a lot. Because to be clear, you're not supposed to know where the enemy is, right? You should only know what's immediately around your own team squares. This is close. I don't think we're going to win. I think Coliseum built up too much of a core there.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to see what the difference in the spawning strategy was and how that happened. Your generators are just about equal, but...
Yeah, but what matters is active, right? Yeah. Too bad.
So Levon is the 2023 Square Battle champion. So thanks to everybody who participated. It could be all of you next year. What I really would love to see is, you get that, and then we have, you go through the rumbles. But it'd be really awesome to have different partners against each other, brackets where you got partners, going against other partners. I think could be a lot of fun and interesting things happening. So that was a recap of the scores, and then just some final thoughts. So the next event for the Summer of LabVIEW, Derek has told me, is going to be a maze solver, and it will be announced on the Discord. So go and join that if you want to, get some fun LabVIEW time. Start making your squares for next year, because I'm told that it's gonna happen again, and it'll be more fun with more people. And then our thank yous that I mentioned earlier to Erich Refit for help on the GIE forum approval, Nancy for helping get badging and recertification points, and then Derek for doing all of the running of the battles and putting the video together. Appreciate all of you, and get your squares in, start working on them, send them to your friends, and do them inside your company even, because the square you can download it, the engine, and from VIPM, and go crazy. All right, that is all. Any other questions or comments or thoughts?
Quick comment. My pitch for next year would be to have two competitions for the same basic rules, but one allowing code whatever you want, hack as much as you want, and then the other being stick to the spirit of the square rules, because I would really love to see what hacks and cheats other people come up with.
For sure.
It's called ethical hacking.
Ethical hacking.
Unlicensed square battle.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, and I hope you enjoy your lunch.
A special thanks goes out to Kevin Shirey, Quentin Q. Aldridge, Mark Balla, and Jeff DeBoer for their help in filming. And of course, this GDevCon N.A. 2023 wouldn't be possible without all of our sponsors. Thanks.